It feels like for version 5.6, there's been a lot of excitement for it that people haven't really felt in a long time, myself included. And for me, I think it's going to be a really good patch with lots of good story and potential gameplay elements that I've wanted to see in Genshin for a long time. So, wanted to make this video and just talk about my initial thoughts. And I'll make a review video on it when it releases in 10 days or whatever. But what I particularly found interesting was the whole cover art for the patch, where we have Venti, Albedo, and Jean in an imagery that shows Venti in the darkness that slowly turns into the light that Jean faces. And it's interesting that Jean faces towards the right side. So it seems that it's indicative of Jean having some kind of conflict that she's going to be resolving throughout the quest, which I assume is going to be related to Albedo's whole trial and whatnot. What I like about this is that because it features Jean so prominently, I think it's a good opportunity for Jean to get some actual character development and relationship into the lore itself. Because as far as we know and have received throughout the years of Genshin, Jean's always been associated with just pretty much being an overworked leader. And there's not really that much else to her character shown on screen, even though there's a lot of interesting lore behind her character, particularly on her relationships with Barbara and their parents. She also is the acting grandmaster, and I hope to see that, with Varka potentially returning soon, can we somehow incorporate Jean's work into the overall greater world of the story of Teyvat? With the character in the middle here, Albedo, apparently he's been tasked by Rheindotter to first come to Mondstadt in order to discover truth of the world, which means that Mondstadt itself has a secret somewhere that helps you discover the truth of the world, placing some importance on Mondstadt. I think it's fair to say that Mondstadt hasn't received the same amount of love throughout the game's life cycle, even though it's the first nation that we've gone to, and that it likely still has a lot of the secrets of the world, with Dragonspine, Albedo, Venti, and whatnot. So it's just nice that we're going to be seeing a Mondstadt-focused lore event, Archon Quest. I mean, also, just on the point of Albedo, do we really think that Albedo is going to be the actual guilty person of whatever murder that they're talking about in the case? Do we really think that our playable characters will be associated with negativity? No, like according to the past few years, no. Playable characters will never have negative actions and behaviors associated with them. So of course, you know who the true murderer is? The person who stabbed Novile that's throwing everyone in a tantrum? Oh, it's just this random NPC that we haven't seen before. But anyways, I actually really like that Venti's the one on the left side in the darkness with his usual it hit emoji, but then it's actually like he does harbor secrets that we don't know about and that are important to understanding the world of Teyvat and Celestia and whatnot. I hope that Venti becomes a little bit more serious during this quest. I mean, we saw him at the top of the Barbados statue seemingly defending Mondstadt from the invading monsters. But there are a lot of secrets that Venti likely knows about that I hope he expands more and takes Mondstadt into the next step, into the next level of lore and importance into the story. There's going to be some Hexenzirkel lore and interactions as well. So we'll see if Mona plays a role into that. We'll see if her master plays a role, if Alice makes an appearance. We saw Klee in the trailer. But yeah, I also want to point out that, it's interesting that Kaeya is also in the cover art. I really liked the shot of him and Diluc being on the outside of Mondstadt looking to defend the city from the invading monsters, which, funnily enough, like we're up against a bunch of Hilichurls, Metatrolls, and Lavatrolls with cryo shields. Like, Kaeya, what are you going to do, man? It's going to be Diluc carrying the heavy weight there. But it is just a nice homage to their relationship. I hope that, it's just nice seeing them work together despite their past relationships and conflicts with each other. So there are some other stuff coming in 5.6, like Escafir. I'm probably going to get Escafir because Ayaka is still one of my favorite characters, and Escafir is going to be good for Ayaka. There is going to be this event in Fontaine. I'm not sure if it's completely related to the case in Mondstadt. It seems like it might be because Novile was stabbed, and that might be related to the case. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to get some interactions between Natlan characters, notably Aoife and Kinich and stuff, and company that are coming to Fontaine, which is cool because we haven't seen many Natlan characters coming to other nations because they've been busy with the Abyssal War. That's pretty much all I have to say about my excitement so far for the 5.6 trailer. there are some Welkin Moon tidbits that have been releasing over the past few weeks, specifically about Nodcry and the factions there. It pretty much hints that Nodcry will likely be the main focus in likely the next year. Maybe it might not be fully Snezhnaya, it might just be Nodcry before we head into Snezhnaya. I'm not sure exactly if that will be the case, but they are just putting a lot of foreshadowing into the factions of Nodcry. We have Skirk that's most likely being released in 5.7. And so I hope that there's going to be a lot more serious tone into the story of Genshin as we move towards the last nation, the last endgame parts of Genshin story. As the factions release more and we have more information and that there's a concrete story, I'll make a video on that. But in the meantime, I think I'm just being excited for this new 5.6 Archon Quest. I'm going to make a video on it when I play it, and that'll be that. So, yeah, thank you for watching the video. We'll catch you in the 5.6 review video. Yeah, take care.